you love telling stories with data, here is another great dashboard to some kind of create with me. I'm going to take you by hand to have this particular dashboard created from the scratch. Okay, before we get to start to create the dashboard, here is the data we're going to be using for the dashboard. And the next thing you need to actually take a look at is the task we are going to actually, base this dashboard right on. As a new data analyst in Home Luxury Kitchen, a company that sells kitchen equipment, you have been given a data set containing data from 2019 to 2022. So the sales manager wants you to create a dashboard that will summarizes the sales for 2022 only. So you are requested not to use pivot table to summarize the data. So let's see what the roadmap to create this dashboard would be like. The first thing we have to do is to use Excel functions and formulas. And next is for we to some kind of select a whole range or turn our data into a formal Excel table. Next is for we to pretend to be the owner of the business so that we can actually bring insight that will definitely help the business. Alright, number 4 is to make it simple, like absolutely simple. And the last but not least is to make recommendation for the business after every single analysis that we've done to bring the dashboard to life. So we need to tell the business what they need to improve. This is exactly what it is. So let us take a tour through the dashboard to see what the dashboard is all about. This dashboard is going to be created with just formula and function, not pivot table. And we are not going to turn our data into Excel table, but the dashboard will be updated once we have a new data. Let's try that. Here we have new data right here. All I have to do is just to start a copy before the header, copy from here. Now your Control Shift down arrow would definitely help you to select the whole range of the data. So I'm going to copy it, to do Control C. What I'm going to do right now is to go right here where we have data right in. And the next thing I'm going to do is just to make your Control Shift down arrow to the last, row, and I'm gonna Control V. Before then, let us just scroll to this way, Control V, and before I have it pasted right in here, let us go straight up to the dashboard and see what value do we have. We have that 3%, and okay, we have, let us click on this particular revenue right here. We have 159.38 million US dollars and all that. So let's go back right now. And I'm going to have to paste this right here. That is all we have to do. Let's just get back. And now it turns to 168. Automatically, we have our dashboard updated. This is what you should do when you want to create a dynamic dashboard. Nothing like you have to refresh on. If we should have used pivot table, we would have to refresh this before it gets to some kind of update itself. So I'm going to show you how to create something like this that tell nice story. If I actually select like the first product right now, teapot, it says summary of teapot revenue in 2022. And now, if we look at this particular part right here, it says teapot has the highest revenue in 2022 compared to the previous years we had been in operation, like 2019, 2020, and 2021. And when we come to the means of order, so the revenue we generated from in-store, people who come to the physical store to purchase, is higher than the revenue we generated from online. And that was why when we made our recommendation right here, if you read through what we have right here, we said invest more on ads to trigger more sales from online because it's not really doing well. So now if you select, it doesn't really show anything right here because other previous sales is beyond the current sales we are selling right now. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And when we switch to quantity sold, we have this part changed and it's just like magic. I'm going to show you how to do everything. So right now you've seen a lot about all this, and if you're ready, I'm always ready. Let's get on it. So right now we have to scroll to this particular end, and what I'm going to do is just to copy this one. I'm going to have to copy from here to here. Control C, don't bother. Okay, instead let me just copy from the top. I'm sorry to do that. So I'm going to copy from the top, Control C. Don't worry, you know why I'm doing this right now. I can actually go ahead and paste this right here. So right now for this particular drop down, I don't want to use this drop down because it's not gonna be useful to me. So what I'm gonna do right now, I want to clear it. To clear it is very simple. Just Ctrl C to copy this empty cell and come right here and Ctrl V to paste it. That will actually get away that data validation we have right there. So what I want right now is to actually calculate the revenue we made in this particular for this particular product. So I'm going to type in here revenue. So revenue, and here is going to be chart for revenue. So chart for revenue, and to do that is very simple and easy. Let me take you back to the finished dashboard. So this is what we are trying to create right now. If I actually click right here, you can see whatever product we have on selection will definitely be highlighted, and that tells the story of what the whole dashboard just got updated for. And you can see on the map which particular state is doing well for this particular product selected. This is exactly what we want to start to create right now. Let's get back. So getting back right here, to do that, what we can do is this. So we're going to use the same sum ifs or sum if else function. So it's going to be equal to sum ifs. So sorry for that, I will do that again. Sum ifs. And now the sum range, if you can't see this, you must be like saying this. So the sum range is still going to be the same thing. I'm going to come right here. The sum range for revenue is this. So it's E to E. Can you see it right now? E to E. So which means if I scroll all the way down, it actually highlights beyond what? Beyond where we have our data. So if we have new data to come and we'll paste it beneath this one, it's going to pick it straight up. So now I'm going to have my comma right here, and it's asking for the criteria range 1. What is the first criteria range that you have? That is exactly going to be this particular E right here. You understand? So I want to filter other years away, and I'm going to keep the filter for 2022. That is what I want. So that is why it says criteria range 1. And now what is now the criteria that you want to use to filter this particular aspect? So I'm going to go back to this analysis, and now if I scroll to this end right now, I am going to see this particular E right here, 2022. I'm going to pick that. So right now, we don't want, if we copy down, we don't want to move it away from here. So I'm going to press my F4 key to have it locked down absolutely, right? So once I'm done with that, I'm going to have my comma, and the next one is going to be criteria range 2. So we are not going to be using this now. This filter is not going to work. So instead, we want to actually say calculate for this product down to the last product if we scroll down. And I have to go back here and select my product. And this time around, my comma, I'm going to provide the criteria range for it. And that is going to be this one. Do we need to lock this down? No. So we should leave it this way. It's going to be some kind of, when we copy down, we want it to move, down to the next cell and all of that. So have it closed, hit your enter key. This gives you this. Before we copy down, we can Ctrl 1 and go to currency and just make sure you have it. Okay, then double click and it's going to give you this. So now that we've done this, let's see if we can create our chart from here. Of course, yes, I'm going to have to highlight this all and go right to insert. And from insert, you can see different charts right here. If you're not too good at which chart to be used, you should be good at it, of course. You can always use the recommended chart right here. But when you do that, you're going to be given a lot of charts to make choice of, right? So what about this chart? What's happened to this? And this, which one is ideal for this particular kind of visualization that is going to tell the story we want to tell? That is going to be this one. So I'm going to have to click OK. This is what I have. So make it small. Now we're going to have something like this. Do you know the difficulty I have with this chart right now is that there is no way I can actually sort it and make sure it looks just like this. From the highest value down to the lowest one, that is exactly what this one is actually, awful. So I'm going to go back right here and see how we can actually do this sorting. So right now, let us try this. I'm going to click on my Control Shift and L. So it's going to activate the filter for me, the filter button. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to say sort from largest to smallest. Let's do that. Does it work? It doesn't work. Let's try that again. Does it really work? It doesn't work in any form. So why is that happening? Yeah, I think there's an alternative to do that. The first alternative is just like, I'm going to double click on this. Right now, you see on this particular analysis right here, I'm going to go ahead and remove the sheet reference from here. I think that will definitely work for me. How do you do that? It's very simple and easy. You can come here and place your cursor here. From this particular exclamation mark, you have to remove it down to analysis. It's still going to work. That's the reference what you want to reference. And from there, I'm going to move to this particular side right here, and I'm going to start to move it away from here. Now we still have the same cell referencing. All we did was to remove the sheet name away. So if I go ahead and hit my enter key right now, I'm going to have to copy this down. So let's try this. Go to the top and click on data. Let's see if this works. Okay, that was because I have it on highlight. Now it does work for me. It does work. But the bitter aspect of it is that if I want to actually have two type of dates, it might end up, two type of filters, it might end up not working the way it should be. Do not worry, I'm going to show you the second way to do this in a jiffy. Let us go back right to this particular part right here. So okay, instead what I'm going to do right now to show you if we do it that way, what's going to happen, I'm going to go to my data, go to data validation. I'm going to click on lists and click right here inside the box, and just scroll to this end and make sure you have this, and you click on OK. Right? So now I'm going to do a magic. I want to add one more filter. Okay, we've added the filter before now, so that is going to be the filter for the year. So what I can do is just to change it. So double click on it, and it's going to give you this particular D right here. So you can come right here and highlight this particular aspect at the top. Once you've done that, you can make sure you get it. For this, I'm going to press my F4 key. I'm going to hit my enter key, and now let's some kind of copy it down. Can you see what I'm talking about? If I make a change of this right now, look at what happens. Our sorting is gone. It's not more sorted the way it should be, but we can actually work around this and make sure it doesn't really work that way. It actually gives us sorting every single time we even change the filter. It was because we have double filter that made it this way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have to move this away from here, place it right here for now. We're going to move it once we are done. I'm going to place it right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just for me to know the count of my products. Highlight it, go to the top ribbon, and when you come back right here, you're going to see 10, right? Count of 10. Nicely done. So from here, I'm going to have to start to number it. So highlight it and copy it all the way down to create that 10 products. That is nice. So right here, I'm going to have to copy the header. So I'm going to place it right here. So we just have to move it this way. And right now, what we can do is to use a function called large. So it's going to be equal to large. And large is looking for the array, and the array is going to be this. This is what we want to sort from the highest value to the lowest value, right? So once we've done that, I'm going to say comma. So what I'm trying to do right now is this. I want to say, okay, now large, can you definitely show me the largest number inside this range of numbers? No, it's going to be like, yeah, for real. Provided to 1, that is the key. So close it and hit your enter key. It's giving you this as the highest number, right? So which means the highest number is sitting right here. After this number right now, this is the one that has 4. There is no any other 4. So if I say give me the second largest number, I have to change this manually and hit my enter key before it definitely give me the second highest number, right? Which is this particular number right here. That is not what we want to do. Instead, what I'm going to do right now is to double click it and make sure I just delete this one and make sure it's dynamic. And I'm going to provide this, hit my enter key. So next is for me to actually go ahead and drag it down And if I did that, I'm going to have this error. The reason being is that we did not lock this particular part down. So once I double click right here right now, look at the way it's shifting. We don't want that, right? So go back to the first one, double click on it, and come right here. This is what you have to work on. Highlight it, and your F4 key will do the magic. So let's go back right now and double click, and we have it copied all the way down. Can you see that? So the next thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure Control 1, we go for currency, and we take off the extra decimal out of it, and we hit OK. So what we need to do next is for we to get the products. How do we get the products? Right here? And we want the products to be sorted alongside with the numbers, right? So let me show you what you're going to do. So we're going to be using index and match to do this. But to do just this is very simple. Let's see. So typing in your index right now is looking for the array, and your array is always where what you want is actually sitting. That is the column, right? So come right here and say, okay, I want something from here, right? If I put my comma, it's asking me which row number do I want from here. Oh, I don't want to specify row number manually. I want to make this dynamically, right? So I'm going to use my match function right now. So match function is looking for the lookup value. How do you want me to bring this that you asked index to actually fetch for you? So by using the index, the match function right now is looking for the lookup value. I wanted to use this for the lookup value. So I want to use the first one, which is this one right here. I have to make sure I use my up arrow, and it's going to select that because this one has already covered it, right? So next for me now is to put my comma. Do not lock it down. So where you have to lock down is this particular one right here. My F4 key will help me to lock it down, but for this one, just let it be. Next is for we to provide it our lookup array. Where do you want me to look this particular numbers up from? So it's going to be from here down to here, and your F4 key, lock it down. The next one is my comma, and it's asking me for if I need less than, exact match, or greater than. Of course, I need the exact match, which is gonna be 0, and I'm gonna close my match, close my index, hit my enter key. So it provides me with the product name that actually has the highest number. So which is this one right here? Can you see? I just have it on highlight. Now what we can do right now is just to double click, and it's going to give us all other products. Can you see that right now? So let's see, let's confirm this. Can you see it right now? It's falling under 6. And this particular mixed bowl right here is what is on the top. Can you see that right now? So this particular dishwasher is still the last one, and this frying pan, this toast, you know, it might look like, I think it's almost the same thing. Why is it like that? So once you change to the other years, right, we have right here, you're gonna see changes right on what we are doing. Okay, this is better. So now we can just go ahead and make a switch of our years right here. So can you see now? Can you see? So we still have the same problem, right? So we still now we have this unsorted, but when we change from 2022 to 2020 right now, it's no more sorted. So that is exactly what we want to solve. Right now, what we can do is just to right click on this and go to select data. So we have this. So once we have this, what we can do is just to make sure this part right here should actually look up this particular part. And once we've done that, we can click on OK. That is done for us. So if I change this to 2021, we still have it, you know, we still go 2022, we still have the same thing. But why is it like this from the lowest to the highest? That is what we need to solve. Double click on this part here. So you're going to have this open for you. So once you make sure you have this particular part highlighted and come to your axis option, click on it and go to your axis option right here, and you see category in reverse order. Can you see that? This one right here, nicely done. So make sure you click on it, and here you go, you have it the way it should be. Okay, I'm gonna have to open it up, and what I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure those particular numbers right here has K as what represent our thousands, right? So what we can do, have it some kind of selected. Make sure you select this one, go to number, scroll down. Now what we can do, come right here, And once we have comma, it's going to remove zeros away from it. I'm going to have something simple as this, like from 0 to 8,000. But that is not what we want. We want like K. So double quotation, K, close the double quotation, right? And hit this. This gives us this particular formatting. Nicely done, right? So I'm going to have to close this for now, and I'm going to remove this away from here. So if you look at it, we are not trying to some kind of use this to actually change, because we are very specific about which year we really want. But it's just for me to show you an example in case you want to actually have this year filter and you don't want to make it change and all of that, so you can use this way to sort your data. So what we can do right now is just to come right here. I'm going to cut this away from here, go to a dashboard. I'm going to have to paste this right here. And if you look at it, we did not have the filter that when we click on it, it should actually filter through and highlight a particular part of it for us. That is what we're going to do next. But before then, let's get back here. So now we can double click on this. From here, we don't want to look at this place again. We want to change it to the former one. We want to make it static because we don't want to be changing years, right? So I have to go all the way right here and select this one, hit my enter key. So what I can do is to copy it down. Oh, sorry for that, double click on it. So we just have to make sure this one is actually F4, hit my enter key right now. So if I go, that is correct. That is correct. And the chart is going to pick it. That is nice right now. So you can actually make sure I bring it right way, the right way. So the next thing now is for we to see how we can actually create something that looks just like this for our chart. We want to make our chart look beautiful as this one right here. Now let's move this back to the back end and have that created. Ctrl X, and I'm gonna have to copy. So now I'm gonna paste this one right here. So we can just scroll to this end. So let's see what we're doing here. So if I come here, just let us reduce this, then we can see it better. So nicely. So I have to open this place up a bit. So what we can do right now, we can say highlight. So highlight. So what we can do, we're gonna say if, using the if function, if this particular value we have this particular product we have right here, select it, and your F4 key to lock it down, because we're going to be copying this down across to this level. So if this particular product right here is equal to this product, what we want is you give us this, or if it is not, just give us 0. Close it and hit your enter. So it's giving us 0. If I copy down, can you see? This is where it falls to, right? So this is what it gives us right now. So which means we have it selected. So let me select something like teapot right here. I'm gonna click on that. I'm gonna go and see where we can have that, right? So we have the number appeared right here. So all we can do right now is to, copy the formatting for this part here. Nicely done. So we can just go ahead and do this. So now how can we get this for our chart? Very simple and easy. All I can do is to right click and say select data. So once we've done that, you can see where we have add, click on add, and it's asking for the series name. Here the series name, and here is asking for the main value. So we're gonna have to provide it this one here. And I'm going to click on OK, and right here is just giving us number. We want to actually use this particular axis to get that. Select this and click on OK. Then finally click on OK right here. So you've gotten that. So let's see what happens when we select either of this. Now this moves, but this is not all we have to do. I'm going to come here, take this off, and I'm going to double click on this. Right now we overlap it. So you have to make this particular series overlap 100%. Can you see that? So we can now decide to some kind of click on either of them right now, come right here and some kind of, make the gap to close a bit. So I want to make the gap look just like this. So what I'm going to do next is for me to change this one to different color. So I want to come right here. I'm going to go to fill, go here, and I want to select this particular kind of color. It was because I have only one selected. So what I can do right now is to go off and come back and click and make sure every single thing is on selection. So go back right here, click on this, and now we have it. So this gives this one to be a different color. So we're going to be dealing with the color we have right here once we are actually done finalizing the color we're going to use for our dashboard. So right now I think we are done from here. So anytime we make a selection, so we have this disappear. What is going on? Can you actually get that? Nothing actually happened. It was because we cannot see beneath the chart. So if I scroll and bring it up, so now you can see it. So let us cut it away and let's have it right here on our dashboard. So finally we are done with this particular part right here. So the next part of the dashboard we're going to create right now is actually this particular part right here where it says revenue by means of order. So if I actually, click on any of the filter right here right now, so we have Xlizer, and Xlizer has more sales on the in-store, like people who come straight up to the store, to the physical store to make purchase. And if I keep selecting any of our products right now, so we have this particular product right here, which is blender, to have more sales from people ordering from online. So the revenue we made is actually higher on the online platform, right? So how do we get to analyze this using the data we have? Let's get back right here. So already I have this one right here. So what I did was just to come right here and copy both online and on an in-store and actually have it right here. Then name it like means of order. Then the revenue we generated from this means and this means is what we have to calculate. So I'm going to click right here and my usual sum ifs is what I'm going to use. And the sum range is still remain the same thing. It's going to be my revenue. So if I have my comma right there right now, it's asking me for the criteria range, which is the first criteria range is going to be my year. So I have to be very specific that I'm trying to calculate for only 2022, right? So comma, go back to analysis, and we have to scroll to this left hand side and say, okay, now we have to calculate for 2022. And once we click on our F4 key, it's going to help us to lock that down for us. So another comma is asking for the criteria range 2, right? So which is going to be our product. Here is our product, my comma. If I go back to analysis right now, so I have to scroll to where I have my filter right in. So and pick my product. So here is the product on view right now. F4 key to lock it down. If I go ahead and close this and hit my enter key, it gives me this. And if I copy it down, let's see what's going to happen. It's going to give me the same value because I still have one more criteria range to specified. Guess what that is? That is going to be either online or in-store. So I'm going to have to double click on this and now come to this particular part and have your comma right there. Is asking for criteria range 3. So go back to your data right here and now select this range, comma, and now if I go back to my analysis right here, I'm going to make a specification to this. So don't lock it down because we are going to copy it all the way down. So hit my comma. Now I'm just going to copy this and you can see what it is. So if I just go back right to this particular part right now and change it from this particular product, so change it from this product right now to this product. So that is going to change the value I have right in here as well. So what I can quickly do is to actually format this, which is optional because we are not going to use this. So what I'm going to need now to do is to make sure I convert this into a percentage. So how do we do that? Very simple and easy. So I'm going to have to come right here. I'm just going to type in here my percentage and I'm going to come here and say this here divide by the sum of this whole. Can you see that right now? The sum of this whole. I'm gonna have to close this. You get that? Control Enter. I'm gonna stay in the same cell, so I can actually just go ahead and copy it down, but it's not going to work because if I double click on this, it's moving. That is why I always say make sure you know how to use your referencing, absolute, mixed, and relative cell referencing. If you don't know this, you're going to be making a lot of mistakes every single time you use Excel. So for that, we just have to go back to the top level right here and try to lock this particular part down with our F4 key. And if I hit my enter key right now, and if I just go ahead and copy this down, we have this Ctrl+1, format it to a percentage, and we just remove the extra decimal, click on OK. That is what it is that we have. So right now I can just come here. I'm going to make a reference to this. So we just have to copy this down because we're trying to create our chart with this. So we come here and make a reference to this as well. So we can copy this down too and create our chart from it. So select both of them and come right here, go to insert, and now we can insert this same chart we've actually inserted before now, and we can just cut it away from here and take it to our dashboard environment. So for now, don't worry about how the chart is looking and anything about this. So in a jiffy, we're going to have something just like this. But before then, all we have to do is to get our analysis ready, get all our chart ready, and we can come for beautification when the time is ready. All right, the next part, and my favorite part indeed, is this particular map area. As you can see, if I select either of this, revenue will give me this. If I select my quantity sold, it's going to change this. And what are we seeing right here? It tells quantity sold till date is this particular 53,000 quantities, over 53,000, and it gives me current quantity sold for the selected year 2020. That is exactly what I'm having right now. If I select revenue, I have this. I do not have current revenue. That is because I already have it highlighted right here, and it's giving me the percentage right here. So we do not need to actually have it right here any longer. So how do we create this chart is what we have to go into right now. Let's go get it. So go to your analysis and scroll to this end. Oh, sorry, we are picking the wrong one. So we can actually have this visible. Let's go back right here. Go back right here. So we can go to our data. And what I'm going to do is to copy this particular, state away from here. So I'm going to use my Ctrl+C to do that. So go to your analysis, right? And now we can scroll to this end and paste what we've just gotten. Copy, paste without formatting, and go to the top ribbon, go to the data, and remove duplicates. And I'm going to click on OK, and I have my duplicate removed. So I have 50 unique list right now. So what I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I get it moved down. So select here. Once you have it selected, Ctrl+Shift down arrow. So I'm going to go back to the top. So when I have to hold this, once I see this cross, I'm going to have to make sure I move it down. And now here we go. So I can go ahead and copy the header we have right here. So Ctrl+C, I'm going to come here. I'm going to have to paste it. I'm going to paste it right here, I presume. Let's do this. Okay, now here we go. I'm going to type in my state, and here is the revenue. Here is going to be my quantity sold. So I won't actually analyze quantity this time around. And here is going to be my sales states. So we just have to make sure we open it up. So what we can do is just to come here, go to home, click right here. So nicely done. So what can we do to get the revenue some kind of created? Very simple and easy. So we have to follow the same procedure we had been following, which is very simple and easy. And by now, I believe you can do it, right? So I'm going to calculate one of it and copy the next one and actually make a little tweak, and it's going to be final. So I'm going to have my equal to right here. So some ifs is what I'm still going to use. So come back here, you know the drill already. For revenue, So my comma is asking for the criteria range, and the comma again for the criteria. We have to go back and scroll to the left hand side. So we're gonna have to pick this and F4, comma again. The next criteria is gonna be the product filter that we want to add on it. So which is gonna be this one right here, my comma. Then once we get back right here right now, we have to scroll to where we have the product right on. So which is gonna be this one, and my F4 key, my comma. The next one is gonna be this particular criteria range 3 right here. So select this, and it's gonna be our state. So click on that, comma. So this time around, we go back right here. We do not need to log this one, and we have to put that on selection, close it, hit your enter key. It gives you this as the revenue. Just drop it down, Control 1, and come right here for currency. Take off the extra decimal, click on OK, and quickly we have to just Control A to highlight it, or you just highlight it, and Control C to copy. So come right here and drop it right in here. To make a little tweak right now, what we can do is just to go back to here and see where our quantity is sitting. So the quantity is sitting in D, which is going to be D to D, not E to E. So we have to change E to E right now. So go back right here, double click on it. So where do we have our E to E? Is this part right here. So we have to change this one to D. So I'm going to change this one to D. Let's come back right here, change this to D, hit my enter key. It changes the value for me automatically, my Control 1. And if I come right here right now, I'm going to put it to number. So take off the extra decimal and have comma separator for it. So click on OK and drag it down. Finally, we have just gotten this created. So what is the next thing to do? You have to make sure you have an internet connection. So right now I'm connected to my Tecno Camon 17 Pro. So I have an internet connection. So we have to create our chart. To do that, what you have to do is just to make sure you select, Control Shift down to the last one. Do not actually select both of them for now. Don't worry, you're gonna actually create a switch between the revenue and the quantity purchased in no time. So go to the level, go to the top level rather, and click on insert. You're gonna see this particular map right here. If you can't find it, maybe it is due to the version of Excel that you're using. So you should be using either Excel 2019 or Excel 365, right? So I'm gonna click on it, and here you go. You have this, and our map is being plotted for us. So the next question is this: how do I some kind of switch between this, just like what we've done right here? Can you see this right now? I can switch between the product and the quantity sold and the revenue generated from those quantities sold, and see which particular state is buying highest based on what my selection would definitely be. As you can see, Texas is actually leading right here, and if I select another product right now, you can see this is Colorado. That is where we have the highest revenue generated from. And if we switch to quantity right now, we might have a different state entirely, which is California. That is exactly what we want to create right now. So let us go back to where we are, and it's going to be this. To create that, what we can do is to add a new column to have that kind of analysis created. So now I'm going to take this off the way. So what do we do? I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to type in sold, quantity sold. And what I'm going to do right now is just to copy this, or I can actually type in here. Let me show you one thing, one function you might have not used before, and show you the relevancy of this particular function. It's called transpose. Before you use transpose, you have to highlight the area you want to transpose the data right in. So I've just highlighted this particular area of my sheet. So I'm gonna have to type in equal to. I'm gonna type in here transpose, and it's gonna ask me for the array. So it's gonna be this part right here, and I'm gonna have to close this. So Control Shift Enter. Wow, can you see what I've just done right now? It helped me to transpose this without me doing, And one thing I love about transpose is that if I change this one now to just like quantity alone, so it's gonna pick it up. And if I decide to add my sold again, sold, so I have it right, it's dynamic. So I love transpose a lot. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I want to create something right here that is going to help me to be switching between these two. And you know already what that is. So I'm going to go to the top level, click on data, data validation. So here list, right here we select this. I'll click on OK. We try to change the color to make sure something is sitting right there, and whoever comes back here, we definitely learn that yeah, we have something right here. So let's select one of it. So we can change the color of it to white. Nicely done. So now it is time for we to do the magic. So now here we're gonna have to say all right, if equal to, I'm gonna say if this right here, if this here is equal to this, so what you can do right now, comma, so give me okay, what I'm gonna do, okay, let me do this. I'm gonna say if this here F4 key to lock it down is equal to whatever is being selected from here. You get it? Whatever is being selected from there, what do you want? I want you to just say, okay, comma, I want you to just tell me, you know, revenue ampersand, you know, I'm gonna have a double quotation. I'm gonna type in here selected, close this, and if I close this right now, it's giving me false. Let us go ahead and select it. It gives me revenue selected. So let's see, is this revenue correct? We're gonna have to change it from here. So revenue, so now we have the correct revenue right here, and we should have the same thing right here, right? So we should update this. So we just have to click on it, then it's gonna be updated. So click back right here. Now it has been updated. So revenue selected. So if we click on the one that is the revenue, so it's giving us false. So how do we deal with this? Double click on it, and we're gonna have to come right here and say comma. If that is false, what we need right now is gonna be this quantity sold. We just have to join it with this. Selected. So now can you see that right now? So it's actually switching between the two. So this is what I want to show you. Okay, the next thing we're going to do right now, we have to switch between this and this. So what we can do is to use the same if function to do that. I'm going to type in here if this is equal to this. So make sure you lock the first one right here down. Make sure once you actually click on this, I'll forget to lock it down, is equal to this here. So what I want, if that is true, I want you to actually give me this value, and make sure you lock this down because I want to copy it all the way down. So your F4 key should be there. So if that is not what it is, so I want you to actually give me value from here. So let us go ahead and close it and hit our enter key right now. So we're getting value from this part right here because this is not true. But once we have it changed, what happens? We get the value right from here. Right? All right, don't worry about the formatting right now, because if I want to use a particular formatting, what is going to happen is that we are going to use either the $sign or the comma separator for number formatting, but we're going to be using a dynamic number formatting in the GFE. Right now, all we can do is just to use one number formatting, which is going to be this one, and don't worry about it. We'll take care of things. I can just go ahead and copy it down. This is what we have. So we can just bring back our chart right here. And what we can do is make sure once we click on the chart, it's going to highlight the range that is fitting the chart for you. So what you can do right now is just to move this right here. Once you release it, so can you see it right now? Beautiful. So we can go right here and make a change. And you see the dynamic part right here being some kind of, you know, what is that you're looking forward to seeing, right? But it doesn't some kind of look like this. What is going on? It doesn't look like this in any way. Don't worry, we are going to work on this. So let's get back right here. Go back here. Now we are done with whatever we want to do right at the back end here. For now, we'll be coming back right here in the GFE, but before then, let us Ctrl X and just move our chart right to this particular area. So we've actually done a good justification to that right there. So it is time for we to come right here and start playing around with what it is that we want right from this side. So it is time to get much more deep inside this particular dashboard and make your dashboard to look just like this. Alright, let's get on it. You know what the first thing we need to do? We go to the top level right here and we click on view and we turn off the grid line. Because we are selecting a particular chart, what we can do is just to make sure we don't select any chart, go back right now, and here we have the headings and we have the grid line. So we turn all of them off. You get that? So what I'm going to do next is this. I want to kind of create, just move this down a little bit. I want us to be on the same page, so you have to follow me to see what size is it. So let us go to the previous one and check it out. So if I click on this right now, go to the top, and if I click right here, so I can see the size from here. That's going to be 0.9 by what? By 13.52. So we go back. Sorry for that. So we go here, insert. So we insert shape, pick this up, just drag it down. We go to the top, come right here. So don't forget it's 0.9. So we do that by 13.52. This is what we have. So I'm going to have to bring it and make sure it covers this particular place up. You get it? So what I'm going to do next right now, because I might be shifting, I just want to show you that that if you go to the top right now and go to view and turn off the formula bar. Now, turn up this. And here we go, we have this. So if I just go ahead and adjust this right now, everything just gets to some kind of shift and expand. We don't want this. Ctrl Z, right? So what can we do? Make sure you select any of the objects and Ctrl A to have every single object on selection, right? Once you've done this, what you can do next is for you to Ctrl 1. And you're gonna have this. So go to this particular place that says size and properties. And the next thing is for you to go to your properties right here, and you're going to see where you have don't move all size with cell. Just choose that. That is all. You can close it. So right now, let's try this. Nothing happens. Everything looks okay. I just want to show you that in case you are facing any trouble with that, you can always remember and make sure you work it around and you're going to have the same thing. So go back right now and turn off this, and here you have something like this. So we have to change the color to the header we have right now. So to change the color, all we have to do is just to make sure we bring our format shape, and we go to the fill and change this and use this color for the fill. So if I deselect right now, you can see we have some border around it. So we don't really want that. So we have to go to line and take off this. But still, once we actually step off it, it doesn't look very beautiful. I want something that looks some kind of cartoony, right? So we open this particular effects and we come right here, select this, come here, and we select something like this. It looks too much. We have to reduce this, right? So go back and click it, and now we have to go ahead and reduce this to your satisfaction. Maybe if something like this is okay for you, you might want to go with this. I think I love something like this. That is beautiful, huh? So the next part right now is going to be this one here. We have to make sure we insert this and we make our header right here to be dynamic. That is what I want us to focus on right now. So we have to go back, click on this, and what we can do next is to go to the top and click on developer. If you don't have developer, what you can do, click anywhere on the ribbon and go to customize the ribbon, and you're gonna see a pop-up right now. Once you've done that, make sure you check this particular developer right here and you click on OK. That is all you have to do. So go back to the top, and here you click on developer, insert right here, and this is what you're going to actually have. It's a spin button. Click on it, and you have a spin button right here. So make sure you define the size you want for it. So we have this. So nothing happens right now. If we click on this spin button we have right here, nothing is going on. So what can we do? We want the spin button to actually take effect of whatever happens right here. When we actually click right here, we want the spin button to take responsibility of how we get to shift things around here. So what we can do first is to right click and go to format control. So right now we have this. So our product is actually 10. I'm going to have 10 right here, right? And we're going to have the minimum to be 1. So here the current value, let us put it on 1 as well. So incremental change, let us have it on 1, and we kind of come here to go ahead and link it. Go to analysis, and we have to go to where we have the filter right in. So here is a filter. I'm going to link it to the top level right here. Then I can go ahead and click on OK. So if I go back right now, should we have something? Yes, of course we have one. If I just click on this, nothing happens. We still have one because I'm clicking down. So if I click multiple times, so I have 6, right? So that is exactly what it is. So this is what we want to actually take effect of whatever is going on right here right now. So how do we go about this to make a change that is going to actually, whenever we click on this, is going to reflect whatever it is right here? Let's just find out. So going back to the analysis right here, what we can do is to just say, okay, now we want to find, let me just scroll a little bit here. Nicely done. So don't forget that we have this, and we have the same, dimension for it, right? The same dimension and the same dimension. So do not use the wrong one. The right one to use is this one. This is the one we are using on our chart right here. So this is the one we have to actually make sure we work with. And what are we trying to do, or what am I saying when I say work with? I'm going to come right here right now and make sure we do this. I'm going to say index. I'm trying to index this particular part right here. And I'm going to put my comma right in there, and it's asking for number, and the number I'm going to use right now is the number coming from our spinning wherever. So click right here. This is the number. You don't have to bother to lock it down because we are not copying this across or copying this down right now. I'm going to just go ahead and close it and hit my enter key. Now it gives me what is being on selection. So you can see what we have selected is different from what is selected right here. Can you see it right now? Do you get it? What is being selected here right now is different from what is being selected here, because this one is a different filter entirely. It doesn't have an effect right on this. So we want to replace whatever we have right here onto this one. So how do we do that? I can just copy empty cell and come right here and paste it on it. So instead of me to have that data validation right in, I'm going to say equal to, I'll make a reference to this. And let us go back to our dashboard. So this time around, it should be working. Can you see? It's not only working for this chart alone, it's working for the whole charts we have right here. So we are about to tell a story and make our dashboard looks just like this. Let's get back. So now we have it working just like this. So we should be like going up when I click to the top level right here. We should be going up. When I click down, we should be moving down, but it's actually the opposite of what I'm talking about. How do we solve this problem? Very simple and easy. So we have to go back right here. So now that we are here, come right here and double click on it. So just after our index, come here. Before we do that, let me show you something. So when I highlight this spot right here and go to the top ribbon, so the count of it is 10, right? So to make sure we fix this, when we actually click top, we want to move to the top. We want this one to be moving up. When we click down, we want it to be moving down. We don't want it to be the opposite. What we can do right now is just to double click on this and say 11 minus this. Can you see this right now? Hit your enter key. So now go back. So if I click down, it's going down, and it stops at what? At exactly when it gets to 1. So if I go back right now and start clicking to make it go to the top, and it's going to stop at when it gets to the last number, which is going to be 10. So workaround is just when we actually minus 11. Let's say you have like 20. What you're going to do right now, you're going to say 21 minus whatever number that is here. That's exactly what it is that you should do to actually have it the way it should be. Can you see it right now? So we just want to concentrate on this particular chart. The next thing we're going to do right now, I'm going to click right here and make sure I turn on the data label for it. So I'm going to do this. But right now, this is what we have. How can we do away with this particular one? It's going to be some kind of too heavy. If we just like, okay, click on it right now and delete this one by one. Does it really work? It doesn't really work that way, but we can do away with this with just, doing our number formatting for it. Let's do it. So the simple way to go around this is to select, make sure all the values have been selected. So you're going to have to come straight up to down here and select number. So once you select number, you can scroll down. Let's see what we're doing. So you can scroll down. And here you're going to have this general and it's going to be empty. So from here right now, we have to format it. And what we want to have on it is actually on a $sign. So use any currency number formatting you really feel like, Naira, Ghana cedis, pounds or whatsoever it is. So right now I'm going to say dollar like this. So my hash, comma, sorry, one hash thing, comma, hash, right? I'm gonna have my comma. Let us actually say add and see what happens. So right now it actually turned this one into 1,000 right now with the comma separator, but that does not really get this off. So next thing is for we to kind of come back right here. So I'm gonna have to use my double quotation right in here, type in K and close this. And if I go ahead and hit enter right now, so it's actually some kind of like says over $6,000, right? But that does not really get this off for us. So what can we do to get this off? So we just have to come right here and actually use this particular. So to get it off, we're going to actually add 2 semicolon right here. Can you see it right now? So 2 semicolon from your keyboard, you just have to do that. And we can just come back here right now and click on, this. So what happens? All the zero gets some kind of disappeared. That is how we want to actually handle our zeros. It worked, right? So that is exactly what we need to do. So once we are done with that, we can just go ahead and click this. Okay, go to the top level and go ahead and just make it as big as you want. You can even make it bold and it's stand out. Nicely done. So whatever we have on selection is not showing up right here. So what we want right now is to show whatever is actually being on selection right here. So go to the top level, insert and click on on this particular shapes and pick this up. And right now we can actually select this area and just select it to this end. You can just make sure it's a little bit closer. Something like this would be cool. So I want to format the color of the shape I've selected. I want to go with something like this. Is better. So go to this particular part and the outline. I want to see no outline, and go to view and turn on the formula bar. So now we come right here and put our equal to right in here. Then we go to analysis. We can go ahead and pick it up from here and hit our enter key. So for the formatting, we just have to make sure we format it. Okay, we just want to have it right here, but we want to make sure it's in the center. So we have to select this and we just have to change it to something very calm like this. So every single time we make a change of what is actually let's go with something like this. That is going to be cool. Okay, let's also kind of change it. Now we have this. So can you see what it is? Nicely done. So let's just go back to the previous dashboard we've created, like this one right here. So what happens when we actually select something like this? It says summary of Blender revenue in 2022. Select under product is giving you a different title entirely. So that is exactly what we have to do right now. So we have to head back right here and go to our analysis. I'm gonna come right here, and I'm gonna come to this part where we're seeing this. I want to say header caption. So I'm gonna make it bold, step down. So I'm gonna type in here summary for, so close this particular double quotation. Now we go to ampersand. So summary for what is being on selection. This is the product on this dishwasher is on selection. So clicking that, and now we have to make sure is actually on uppercase. So we want some kind of make sure is on uppercase. I'm going to put upper. So we just have to close this, and now we can use the ampersand again, and this space for the year. If you want to do this, is optional, or for 2022, whatever it is. So we just have to shift and actually make a reference to this. Sorry for that. Just come right here and the ampersand again, and go ahead and hit enter. So we can go back here. I can just definitely copy Ctrl D to copy this and have it to the top right here. You can just open it up, and quickly I have to go back and make sure okay, fine. Let's go ahead and pick it up first. Come here and pick this up, and now we can do the same formatting for it. Just go to home, click this, and the same formatting. So I can open it up because I'm gonna be having something beyond this. Ctrl 1, and I'm gonna turn off anything that has to do with, you know, color formatting whatsoever. So whatever I select right now would be, you know, reflecting onto this particular part right here. Can you see this? So our dashboard is becoming, you know, this same dashboard we have right here. Can you see it? This is very, very, you know, cool, right?